CenturyLink Field, 68,000 fans. Another sellout, 95 consecutive sellouts for what they call affectionately the clink here at CenturyLink Field. Temperature 73 degrees and high humidity for the Northwest, 64%. And there is absolutely no wind and no rain. The Chargers have won the toss. They will defer. The Seahawks will be on offense first. Nick Hauschka has the ball teed up at the 35-yard line. Brian Walters will be deep. That's Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll led the Seahawks to a 43-8 win over Denver in last year's Super Bowl, and by doing so, he joined Jimmy Johnson and Barry Switzer as the only coaches to win both college titles and a Super Bowl. And how about Mike McCoy, 9-7 in his first year, and a playoff win in Cincinnati. And they're already on their feet here at CenturyLink. And Walters will bring it out. Across the 20 out to the 25-yard line. Brought down by Shea Tutu. So on offense for the Seahawks, Russell Wilson now in his third year has 28 wins to begin his NFL career. And you can see that touchdown to interception ratio. 2 Pro Bowls in his first 2 years and a Lombardi Trophy. Marshawn Lynch will be in the backfield, as you can see right next to Wilson in the huddle. We expect to see Lynch for a couple of plays. And he will start out as the tailback in the pistol formation. In motion is Percy Harvin. 1st and 10 for the Seahawks. And here's a quick pass out to Harvin. Harvin gets by Flowers, and he'll be close to a first down. Offensively for the Seahawks, joining Russell in the backfield, Marshawn Lynch. The fullback is Derek Coleman. We just saw Percy Harvin with that gain. Doug Baldwin, the other wide receiver, and the former Raider Zach Miller at tight end. Alvin Bailey, James Carpenter, Lemuel Jean-Pierre, J.R. Sweezy, and Justin Britt up front for the Seahawks. 2nd down and 2, and Wilson will roll left under pressure. Scrambling, and now he'll go down. Good pressure that time up front by Corey Leggett. And let's take a look at the Chargers starting lineup defensively. Leggett with the pressure that time. He led the team last year with sacks. He'll be joined by Reyes and Lismore up front. Linebackers, Melvin Ingram, Manti Te'o gets credit for that tackle. And speaking of tackles, there's Donald Butler, a Washington Husky, and Torek Williams. In the secondary, Brandon Flowers, Sharice Wright at the corners, Gilchrist and Weddle at the safeties. Robert Turbin now is the tailback, replacing Lynch. On 3rd down and 7. Time to throw for Wilson. He's got a wide open Percy Harvin out to the 39. Sharice Wright with the stop there, but no pressure at all on Russell Wilson. Gain of 11.
And Russell Wilson just takes the ball from the center on the snap, turns, and fires. That's what Russell Wilson does to you. And he puts it right on the money. Very, very hard to stop that pass unless you can break underneath it and get a hand on it.
1st and 10 from the 40 now for the Seahawks. And it's Turbin. And Turbin gets around Te'o. And he'll cross the 45, and he'll get close to another first down. In fact, he'll come up about a yard shy. Eric Weddle with the stop. But Manti Te'o not making the tackle in the backfield. A gain of 9.
Frustrating when you're a linebacker. You break through. You know you got it. You're about to make the big tackle in the backfield. And just that little push off, just that little stiff arm. And Te'o just holding a bunch of air.
That stiff arm is a lost art in the NFL, isn't it?
It really is. Dan.
Really effective that time by Turbin. He'll remain the tailback for Russell Wilson on 2nd and short at the 49. Here's Turbin left side. He's got the first down. And he is hit hard by Leggett at the Charger 45-yard line. Pick up a 6 that time over the left side behind Carpenter and Alvin Bailey.
Great job at blocking by the Seattle offensive line. Donald Butler maybe slides a little too far out, and Leggett has to be there to close it down.
So they'll bring up a 1st and 10 from the Charger 45. 3 wide receivers for, actually there's 4 wide receivers spread out for Russell Wilson. Turbin is the receiver at the top of the screen. Wilson surveying, time to throw. A lot of time. And now he'll just toss this one into the Seahawks bench.
No foul for intentional grounding.
Pete Morelli is our referee for tonight. You can see that he called. There is a flag down in the secondary, though, at about the 32-yard line of
Illegal
San Diego.
contact. Number 29 defense. 5-yard penalty automatic. First down.
Yeah, we talked about this point of emphasis, and Sharice Wright gets called for illegal use of the hands.
And here it is, Sharice, right in the middle of your screen. Puts both hands right on the shoulder pads. That draw the penalty.
They draw the penalty and an automatic first down. Trying to keep Doug Baldwin from getting loose down the field. Kristen Michael now is the tailback for Wilson, and he'll get it on the right side. Cuts back to the left, and now straight up the field. Fine run by Michael. Ball comes loose, and it's recovered by the Seahawks.
Looked to me like the weak side of the Charger defensive line just got caved down. And the running back did a very nice job cutting back into that gap that the Charger defensive lineman had created for him.
Looked like Kristen Michael did recover that ball. Hit by Kendall Reyes, popped it loose. 1st and 10 for the Seahawks at the 28-yard line. And here's Turbin, and a flag is thrown. So we've seen about as much as we're going to see of Marshawn Lynch. That's probably a good thing for the Chargers. They'll see enough of him week 2 of the NFL season when the Seahawks come to San Diego.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Number 54 defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So the Chargers, Melvin Ingram with the illegal hands to the face.
And there it is, his right hand right up under the jawline of the offensive lineman.
That's 5 first downs now for Seattle. 2 via the penalty. Ricardo Lockett replaces Percy Harvin. Phil Bates in the game as well for the Seahawks. And there's Turbin as he gets tripped up as he crosses the line of scrimmage. Melvin Ingram, Donald Butler as well on the stop. We have a Charger slow getting up. Looks like it might be Sean Lismore, and he's not getting up. So the training staff will come out and attend to Sean Lismore. So while they're checking on Lismore's condition, we'll take this break. No score from CenturyLink Field. Just underway here in Seattle. Seahawks on a good drive here. Sean Lismore has made it to the sidelines where they're checking his right ankle. This is the 8th play of this opening drive. It started at their own 26-yard line for Seattle. Turbin, the tailback. Fake to Turbin. Wilson to the end zone to Baldwin. Incomplete. And there's a flag. Brandon Flowers tested right away on the fade route. He's going to get called for pass interference in the end zone.
Number 26 of the defense. Automatic first down.
And they will place this ball at the 1-yard line.
And you can see here, there's certainly some contact. Brandon Flowers gets yet another hanky thrown at him.
It almost makes you wonder, was this a catchable ball? Yeah, I think it was. Baldwin got his right hand up there.
Yep, hit the fingertips.
So I guess you could say that Flowers prevented a touchdown.
We'll still have to see about that.
Well, momentarily, because they're moving this ball right to the 1-yard line because they're deeming this pass interference in the end zone against Flowers. Well, the Seahawks will come with some heavy personnel. Zach Miller, the tight end. Fullback is Derek Coleman. Behind him is Robert Turbin. Zach Miller in motion. Here's Turbin left side. Lowers his head and plows his way into the end zone for a Seahawk touchdown.
just a mass of humanity. That offensive line, then the fullback, the lead back gets in there and moves the Chargers back into the end zone, making it possible to score a touchdown.
Yeah, nothing fancy. They moved the tight end to the strong side and ran the ball weak side. That's behind Alvin Bailey, who's filling in for Russell Okung. And now the 33-yard extra point attempt by Stephen Hauschka. Out of the hold of his punter, John Ryan. Hauschka, who was perfect 44 of 44 last season. And he is right down the middle. Seahawks with an impressive opening drive. Turbin with a touchdown, and they're on top, 7-0. That is a real Seattle Seahawk. Talk about intensity.
A little bit too close for my liking.
You know, on that last drive for the Seahawks, the last 45 yards of the drive, 33 of those 45 were courtesy of Charger penalties. The big one on Flowers defending against Baldwin in the end zone, and Turbin took it in on the next play for our 7-point lead for Seattle. Stephen Hauschka got it teed up at the 35, back halfway in the end zone is Donald Brown. And Brown will keep it in the end zone. As Danny Woodhead says, that's too deep. Phillip Rivers and the Charger offense take the field, and we'll be back right after this. Back at CenturyLink Field. 10:02 to go in the first quarter. The Chargers on offense from the 20-yard line. Fantastic season last year for Phillip Rivers. 5 Pro Bowls, 5 times the Chargers MVP. And he'll start with Donald Brown in the backfield. And of course, the 12th man, this enthusiastic, vocal crowd, making it difficult on the very first play for Rivers and the Chargers. Here's Brown right side. He's got a nice hole there, and he'll get out to the 24-yard line. Phillip Rivers wearing a glove on his left hand. You know, BR, he's 6-1 when he wears a glove on that hand. The only loss in the playoffs last year in Denver.
Wow. Any gloves in your past?
No, they didn't make gloves in my day. Only the kind you wore when you're on the sidelines in Cincinnati. They'll give Brown to pick up a 4 now. Rivers gesturing, looking at the play clock. Nick Hardwick, the center, good snap. Here's Brown on a draw play. And Brown with a couple of nice moves. He'll get real close to the first down. Give him 5 yards on the play. Brandon Mebane with the stop. San Diego offensively, Donald Brown hasn't started this game. We'll see a lot of Danny Woodhead as well. We will not see Ryan Matthews tonight. Keenan Allen, Malcolm Floyd, and Antonio Gates sees his first action of the preseason. Up front, Dunlap, Reinhardt, Nick Hardwick, Troutman, and last year's #1 pick, DJ Fluker at right tackle. Woodhead in the game now behind David Johnson on this 3rd down and 1. 2 tight ends for San Diego. Here's Woodhead, and Woodhead is close to a first down, and he's got it just by a nose.
Wow. Danny Woodhead, one of those guys, I mean, just so small of stature, he ran into that pile, and you went, where did he go? Okay, where did Danny Woodhead go? With just a pile of bodies, and he was able to go ahead and eke out of that first down.
I think eke is a good word because he got about 35 inches for the first down. So it'll be first down at the 30 now for Rivers. Donald Brown split out in the slot at the top of the screen. And Rivers in trouble now to throw the ball away. Good pressure that time by the Seahawks. And that pressure comes from their front 4. Michael Bennett, Kevin Williams, Brandon Mebane, and Cliff Averill. Bennett and Averill, new players for the Seahawks this season. Mike Morgan, the rookie Brock Coyle out of Montana, and KJ Wright are the linebackers. Richard Sherman, shutdown corner for the Seahawks. Maxwell on the other side, Johnson, and Earl Thomas. round out the secondary. Second down and 10. Brown remains the tailback. 3 wide receivers for the Chargers. Rivers with time to throw. He dumps it off to Brown. He's hit immediately. Breaks a tackle and gets to the 35-yard line. Earl Thomas with the stop there, but not after a 5-yard gain. Could have been a gain of maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah, nice job by Donald Brown. He blocks first, just kind of bounces off the defensive end, and Phillip is right there throwing the ball directly to him.
2 tight ends for San Diego, Antonio Gates and Ladarius Green. Green split out off the wing to the near side of the field. Malcolm Floyd in the slot, and Keenan Allen all the way to the sidelines. Woodhead is the tailback, and Rivers to throw again. And he fires it to Malcolm Floyd. He's got the ball at the 49-yard line. A rocket shot from Phillip Rivers.
Just a laser. And Malcolm Floyd, I mean, he had to slow up a little bit, turn into the catch. But it was a fantastic throw by Phillip. Nice protection. Bang, right there. How did he get that ball in there, Dan? Wow.
So right at the 50-yard line are the Chargers. After that completion of 15 yards to Malcolm Floyd. Woodhead right side, cutting back now over the middle, and Woodhead is tripped up as he gets to the 45-yard line. You know, seeing Malcolm Floyd back in the lineup, I know makes Phillip Rivers awful happy.
And he looks like Malcolm. I mean, I think it took him a little bit to get that confidence. He needed to go to the ground or have a few bumps and here and there, but he's made some of the same great catches as we've seen him make over the years, and he always tells us he just got lucky. And we're like, Malcolm, you can't get lucky like that every day. So
6 yards in that game by Woodhead. He'll get it again, and he'll get just a couple as he's running behind Chad Reinhardt and King Dunlap on the left side.
Normally, Danny can find that gap, that little space that he can get into and make a few yards. Boy, there were just too many Seahawks in that gap that time.
Chargers 2 for 2 on this drive, converting third downs. This will be third down and 3. Rivers looking left to Keenan Allen, and that ball thrown just out of the reach of number 13, and Rivers saying that Byron Maxwell held on Allen, but no flag.
You can see the hole right here, and it looks like they're dancing. I mean, his arm around him, grabbing the back of the jersey. I don't know about that.
That will make any quarterback upset.
No doubt.
There's Mike Cyphers punting it to Earl Thomas. Thomas is going to let this one bounce and see if it checks up, and it does perfectly. Ball down there. Fine job there by Darryl Stuckey, one of the Chargers' great special teams performers. Seahawks backed up inside their 5-yard line when we come back. 5:11 to go, first quarter. Seattle will take over on their 2-yard line, leading the Chargers 7-0. Turbin is the tailback for Wilson. And he'll get it left side behind the block of Derek Coleman. Breaks a tackle in the backfield and gets out to the 6-yard line. Time now for tonight's Keys to the Game, presented by Audi.
Dan, I think you got to start with what we saw from the Charger quarterbacks last week. They've got to try to stay hot. Rivers was 4 for 4. Clemens was 5 for 5. Sorry, Brad, I'm going to have to rat you out. You're the only one that threw any incompletions. You were 5 of 7. That's still a pretty good day.
And Rivers so far tonight, 2 out of 4. And here's Turbin, a big hole right side, out to the 15. It's a foot race now. Gilchrist has got him at the 40, but can't bring him down until he crosses the 50, all the way to the 47-yard line. "47 yards for Robert Turbin."
And when you watch the play again, you see Torek Williams not closing down. You have got to close down that gap, or that's exactly what's going to happen. Any good running back is going to break that back and take it down the field for a quick 50.
Turbin showing real strength, 5'10", 222 pounds. Just refused to go down. Here's Wilson looking left, now looking right, dumps it off to Michael. Michael has it at the 40-yard line and out of bounds. Jalil Adai with the stop there. But right now, Seattle's doing just about everything they want to do.
Yeah, they can fake a screen over here and then throw another screen over there. Yeah, it does look, Dan, like they can do pretty much anything they want to offensively.
Turbin 6 rushes for 70 yards and a touchdown. New wide receivers for the Seahawks, Lockett and Walters. Walters to the far side, Lockett to the near side. Wilson to throw again. Pressure by Ingram, steps away from it. Now he'll run. A lot of room and out of bounds for Russell Wilson.
Next one's going to frustrate Melvin Ingram. It's a really good push up the field and then can't keep his feet and allows Russell Wilson to take it right down the field.
Well, Wilson rushed for 539 yards last year. This time he picks up a gain of 12. Takes the ball all the way to the 26 of San Diego, where it's another first down for Seattle. 2:45 to go, first quarter. Here's Turbin, and Turbin will get stopped by Ingram after a short gain.
Yeah, Melvin did a much nicer job going straight down that line of scrimmage, keeping your feet basically on that line of scrimmage until you can make contact and tackle that ball carrier with the cutback.
Turbin, who only averaged 1.3 yards last week in the loss in Denver to the Broncos, off to a fabulous start after that 47-yard scamper. Second down and 6 now. And here's Turbin again. He's hitting the backfield, and Adai's got him, and down he goes.
That was some tremendous get off. I mean, as soon as that ball was snapped, the Charger defense and maybe, I don't know, maybe Melvin Ingram, maybe he was guessing, I don't know. Sometimes you got to guess.
Well, the Chargers, a lot of these players on the field right now are starters.
Right.
At least that's the way they started this drive. The only starter, Eric Weddle, is out, and Adai has taken his place and made his presence known on that play. It'll be third down and 9 now for the Seahawks. Harvin in motion, and Harvin's got the quick screen. Harvin breaking a tackle, gets to the 20. He's knocked off his feet there, short of the first down. Donald Butler with another stop, the former Husky.
Boy, you can see the mobility Donald Butler has, being able to run, catch, dive, and tackle.
And not just anybody, that's Percy Harvin.
Right.
The most elusive players in the NFL, a former number 1 pick of the Minnesota Vikings. So Hauschka will come on to try a 38-yard field goal. Last year he was phenomenal, 33 out of 35 converting field goals. And he is true one more time. Coming off the 2-yard line, an impressive drive for the Seahawks. Not a happy head coach in Mike McCoy. Down the first quarter, the Seahawks offensively unstoppable as they take 2 drives to put up 10 points. That last drive, impressive, coming off their own 2-yard line. 7 plays, 78 yards, 4.5 minutes off the clock. And Phillip Rivers, Antonio Gates, and Eric Weddle are probably done for the evening.
Let's hope Russell Wilson's done for the evening.
Well, this is a meaningless preseason game, so no sense risking those great players. This is a potentially great player for the Chargers, Donald Brown, former number 1 pick of the Indianapolis Colts, and he will bring it out. And he'll get across the 20-yard line. Fine return by Donald Brown. And a good lead block by Danny Woodhead.
Thought he might have a chance to make a little more out of that, only because the trajectory was so low and got to Donald Brown very quickly.
New quarterback for San Diego, Kellen Clemens, the pride of Burns, Oregon, and the University of Oregon. He's the third all-time leading passer for the Ducks, and he was a second-round pick of the New York Jets back in 2006. Good night last week against the Cowboys. Here's Woodhead, and he's hitting the backfield and drilled by Jerron Johnson. Safety blitz for the Seahawks.
Why not? And Jerron Johnson just absolutely appeared kind of all of a sudden and did a great job getting into the gap, getting up the field, and putting Danny Woodhead right down there.
How did Woodhead hang on to this ball? That was a perfect tackle by Johnson, 3 yards deep in the backfield. And that's one way to end the first quarter. Seahawks and the Chargers from Seattle. End of one, 10-0 Seattle. The number 12 will never be worn by a Seattle Seahawk. It's been retired in honor of the fans. And they will make things difficult for Kellen Clemens on this 2nd down and 13 as he drops back into the shotgun. Woodhead alongside. Play clock running down. Clemens will swing it out to Woodhead. He's got the catch at the 15. Makes a couple of moves and gets out of bounds.
Thing about the Seahawks on that particular play, they had a defense called where they just rushed the 3 interior linemen. And they make it look like a blitz, look like some backers are coming, and you never really know until that ball moves and you're the quarterback going, oh, okay.
Woodhead picks up 5 yards on that swing pass. Clemens getting battered. O'Brien Schofield with a big hit. 3rd down and 8. Clemens with a fine throw to the outside, but John Phillips can't haul it in. Got one hand on it. Ball just out of his reach, incomplete, and that'll bring up 4th down.
John Phillips takes the linebacker up the field a little bit and then takes it out to the sideline. The linebacker's there every step of the way.
KJ Wright was that linebacker, and it looked like he was holding on to the right hand of Phillips. That's why Phillips couldn't get it up to match his left hand. Back deep is Earl Thomas waiting this Cyphers punt. And it's a nice high wobbly spiral. Thomas avoids a tackle and then can't avoid the second one. Good special teams coverage by the Chargers. Seahawks with good field position after that 44-yard punt. Well, it's preseason for the officials as well. They thought we were going to a break, but they let the Seahawks snap the ball. They've run off a couple of plays and they brought the ball out to the 47-yard line. Robert Turbin with one catch on the drive. They bring up a 3rd down and 1. Here's Turbin, and Turbin will get the 1st down as he breaks the tackle of Torek Williams. A lot of missed tackles for the Chargers so far in this first half. Not a good sign. Manti Te'o makes the stop.
And Torek Williams on that play, he was up the field, looked like he had no problems. He was going to be able to get the running back down and just kind of whipped around the running back and went flying into the offensive line.
Well, since Pete Carroll has taken over the Seahawks, they have won 9 of their last 10 preseason games. The one loss last week against Denver. First and 10. There's Wilson on the bootleg. And he swings it to his tight end, Luke Wilson. And Wilson's got a good game. Seahawks operating as if this were the regular season. Totally unstoppable now by the Chargers. The mobility of Wilson, the key that time.
Oh, no doubt. And they start the play blocking the tight end down, and then Wilson comes out to the outside, completes the pass, and there's nobody left on that side of the field for the Charger defense.
9 yards on the game, brings up a second down and short. Pete Carroll's got to be happy with what he sees out of his defending Super Bowl champs. Zach Miller in motion. Kristen Michael, fake to Michael. Wilson looking down the middle, has got Zach Miller open. Miller at the 5, Miller just short of the end zone. Jalil Adai with a touchdown saving tackle, but a wide open tight end down the middle. 37 yards for the Seahawks.
That is what's called a blown coverage, when the tight end is running down the field and nobody's with him. That is that's tough call.
That's a quarterback's dream, second
You
and
bet.
short. Might as well go for the bomb.
Uh-huh.
Remind me a lot of Bart Starr, Boyd Dowler back in the day when your daddy played. First and goal for the Seahawks. Turbin, the tailback. Left side, Turbin hitting the backfield. He will not make the end zone. In fact, he will get lost. Torek Williams with a good play there. Good penetration.
Held the edge on the defensive line and was able to get the ball carrier and put him on the turf. That's what you got to do, up and then very nice. Good job, Torek.
Seattle quarterbacks were sacked 3 times last week against Denver. Russell Wilson has been protected very well so far, and his numbers 7 of 7 for 83 yards. A testament to that protection. Second down and goal. Here's Turbin on the draw play. He's going to get close to the end zone, but he is not going to get in. Just short of the end zone for Turbin.
Just a handoff up the middle. Turbin grinds it out as far as he can.
And one of the officials who made the call was Sarah Thomas. That's right, Sarah Thomas, who's a number 153, the line judge there. And bring up third down and short for the Seahawks. Here's Turbin. There's the bootleg, and Wilson for the easy romp to the end zone.
Same exact play, except this time Russell Wilson pulls the ball, and the Chargers are all flowing down the line of scrimmage. Wilson runs in untouched. This is how you do it. Little fake, and then back. There's nobody left.
Wilson rushed for 1 touchdown last season and 5 touchdowns in his career. Kind of unusual now that Hauschka has moved the extra point to the right hash mark. So he'll try this 33-yard extra point from an angle. Not a problem. 8 plays, 68 yards, almost 5 minutes off the clock, and a thing of beauty on the read option for Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. Seattle in Seattle in the second preseason game of the 2014 preseason. 17-0. Seahawks scored on their first drive. They went 8 plays, 74 yards, 4:58 off the clock. Then they got a field goal after a 7-play, 78-yard drive. And then another 8-play, 68-yard drive. Again, 4:58 off the clock. Symmetry for the Seahawk offense. Here's Brandon Oliver, and he's coming out of the end zone. Oliver hit at the 18-yard line, a flag down. Phillip Adams with the stop. Sarah Thomas with the call there, talking to Pete Morelli, our referee.
During the return, illegal use of hands, hands to the face. Number 20 of the kicking team, 10-yard penalty, first down, timeout.
Well, Sarah Thomas with her penalty flag, the first time that she's tossed one. As you can see, she began her officiating career back in '96. Her first varsity high school game 3 years later. First collegiate game in Conference USA. And then a bowl game, Little Caesars Pizza Bowl.
Pizza.
Well, that sounds good about right now.
Uh-huh.
I guess we'll have to wait till halftime. One guy that didn't wait tonight, Malcolm Floyd. A couple of catches in this first quarter.
Boy, and it's just like he had Seahawks surrounding him on this throw. Fantastic throw and catch.
And you know, head coach Mike McCoy has got to be thrilled to have Malcolm Floyd back in the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
We'll hear from Coach McCoy in a moment. But tonight's game, the biggest thing that McCoy wants to see out of his quarterback, Kellen Clemens, wants him to run the offense the way the offense should be run. That sounds pretty simple, but basically it comes down to being efficient in the system, comfortable BR, where to go with the ball in those troubled situations. And this Seahawk defense gives you a lot of troubled situations.
Oh, no question about it. And when Mike McCoy or anybody on that offensive staff is trying to get a play called, they don't want the quarterback taking liberties with what's being sent in from the sideline. I get that.
Well, let's hear from Mike McCoy on Malcolm Floyd.
It was a big blow to us last year, but things happen for reasons. You don't always understand why, and from that first play that he went down and Keenan stepped in, it's an experience you can't take away from Keenan. And Keenan's playing with a lot of confidence right now also, but it's great to have that smile on face back out there and that big number 80 as a target.
And Clemens in trouble, and down he goes at the 25. That's the first sack of the preseason against the Charger quarterback. He'll lose 5 on the play. Greg Scruggs, defensive end for the Seahawks. Third-year player out of Louisville will get credit for that sack. Second and 15 for Clemens. And he's sitting as he throws, and he's going to have to throw that one away. DJ Fluker got beat right off the line of scrimmage. Cliff Averill, 7-year pro out of Purdue, former Detroit Lion. Watch him come around the corner.
Speed rush, Dan. Speed rush against a bigger guy like Fluker. And Averill's been doing that to offensive tackles for a long, long time.
47 and a half sacks for Averill. Third and 15 for Clemens. 2 for 4 converting third downs. They've missed on their last 2, and now Averill will jump off sides. So a free 5 yards for the Chargers.
Ball start. Number 74 offense. 5-yard penalty remains, third down.
I stand corrected. Rich Ornberger, the center, double clutched on his snap.
Right. He and Fluker both.
Now give that credit to the 12th man, if you will. The stadium, the design of the stadium with roof on both sides really holds the noise. And these fans know it. They are an integral part of the Seattle defense. Third and a bunch for Clemens. He'll dump it off to Brown. And Brown will lower his head and get across the 25-yard line. Byron Maxwell will stop him there, well short of the first down after a 7-yard gain.
And then you see DJ Fluker fly in there late in that play as the referees are blowing the whistle. He's looking for a piece of somebody. Somebody's made him mad.
Probably Cliff Averill.
I think that's exactly right.
He's lucky he didn't catch cold. That breeze going by him. Here's Cypress. He sends a high, lazy spiral. Flag down. Earl Thomas will come up with a fair catch at about the 43-yard line. No wind at all here tonight. That punt really died, just 30 yards.
Holding, number 88, the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down, and timeout.
Phil Bates with the penalty. Seahawks on offense when we come back. Halfway through the second quarter, it's been all Seattle Seahawks, 17-0. Time now for tonight's lightning fast facts, brought to you by Cox Communications.
Chargers and Seahawks, they've met 69 times in the pre and regular season. They've never met in the postseason.
Well, you never know,
You
BR.
never know,
You
Danny.
think Seattle might be there. Jury's still out on the Chargers' chances in the tough AFC West. Russell Wilson remains the quarterback for Pete Carroll's Seahawks, and he'll throw on first down. And that's complete to Percy Harvin. Harvin knocked out of bounds. Brandon G with the stop there. That's perfecto for Russell Wilson. Seahawks have run 24 plays, 14 of them have been in Charger territory. Here is Michael, and Michael gets close to Charger territory with that gain. Another first down for Seattle as Teo makes the stop after an 8-yard gain.
Chargers aren't getting into the gaps enough, not basically pushing bodies into other bodies to limit the space that running back has to carry it.
Alden Darby with the stop there. 4 wide receivers for Russell Wilson. And he'll run up the middle, and he'll got a big gain. 40 and a slide across the 40-yard line.
Smart move.
Yeah, he is a smart quarterback, very athletic. Always seems to make the right decision. 13 yards on that improvisation. Wilson looking left. He's got Baldwin. And Baldwin's not going anywhere. Richard Marshall quickly covering Baldwin.
They also use the running back out there to try to pick and make that receiver pop open.
Pickup of 2 that time for Baldwin as Wilson remains perfect. Down the middle of that. I think I jinxed him there as he overthrew Percy Harvin. I should have jinxed him earlier.
Well, you know, Harvin jumped up like, is somebody going to hit me in the ribs if I do this? And then brought those hands back down fairly quickly.
Yeah, you can't blame him. He's been plagued with injuries.
No doubt.
Last year just caught 1 pass. 281 in his career. Dangerous return man as well. Just protecting himself.
Very valuable.
In that errant pass. Third down now for Wilson. Play clock running down. Wilson rolling out to the right. There's Luke Wilson wide open on the sidelines. He's going to be knocked out of bounds by Jerry Atachu, but not before another 13-yard gain.
Had all the pressure going from the wide side of the field and just chasing Russell right into the flat where he throws the ball up the field and makes another great play.
So in the red zone go the Seahawks. Wilson fires a slant route. He's got his man. That ball caught by Baldwin. Baldwin, the free agent signee 4 years ago out of Stanford. Second leading Seahawk receiver last season. First and goal now. And we've got a false start by just about everybody.
False start, offense. 5-yard penalty remains, first down.
He's not even going to identify him. There's so many guys. That's the problem with the center, though. That's Lemuel Jean-Pierre. He didn't snap the ball when he should have.
You can see it right here. It was on 2, dude. Okay. Lemuel.
Jean-Pierre, a 5th-year player out of South Carolina, played for Steve Spurrier. Concerned John Pagano on the sidelines. Wilson under pressure, gets around. Now he'll throw to the end zone. He's got a man. Touchdown, Seattle. Baldwin.
And an unbelievable play. Wow. Just when you think Russell Wilson can't pull it off again, a Tauchu chases him out of the pocket. He waits, never showing any sign of panic, and finds the receiver in the end zone.
Well, I'm not sure he got that second foot down before Stuckey knocked him out of the back of the end zone. This one might be worth challenging. Stuckey delivered a huge hit. Baldwin looked like he got his right foot down. I'm not so sure about the other one. Because it's a scoring play, no need to challenge. All scoring plays are reviewed, so Pete Morelli will go under the hood and take a look at these replays. Right foot down. And there's the blow up. No, he's out of bounds. That's a heck of a play.
Great call, Dan.
Darryl Stuckey with a touchdown-saving blow-up in the back of the end zone. So that's adding insult to injury, or injury to insult.
Well, yeah, don't forget the pain that's involved as well.
That's the injury part of it.
Right.
Yeah. The physical. Ooh. The insult's the mental pain.
My goodness.
Heck of a catch by Baldwin, but he clearly is going to be out of the back of the end zone. Yeah, Baldwin is looking around saying, I hope they don't see that.
He said no, and I can't decide whether or not somebody's asking him, were you in, or do you want to go back in?
He had 50 catches last season, 5 for touchdowns. You know he's a Stanford guy, right? He was a National Honor Society winner, a Math Honor Society winner, and a Spanish Honor Society winner at Stanford.
How about his 106 receiving yards in the NFC Championship game last year?
You can see just a glimpse of Pete Morelli in the, it's like he's voting for someone. I know the Chargers are hoping he sees it the way we just did.
Come on, Pete.
Yeah, and usually when he gets out the piece of paper, he's getting information about the yard line and the time left on the clock. So if I've seen this before, I'm going to say this one is going to come off the scoreboard. Our replay official up in the booth is Tommy Moore, his assistant Glenn King, and they are giving Morelli yard line and time left on the clock.
Excuse me, ma'am.
After reviewing the play, the receiver did not get his second foot down. It's an incomplete pass. The ball be placed on the 13-yard line. 2nd and goal. The clock will remain the same.
Wow.
It's amazing he held on to the ball after Stuckey hits him.
Oh,
but how
Stuckey.
about this throw? Nice soft lob at the back of the end zone by Russell Wilson.
Right.
It's just an incomplete pass, his second incomplete of the ball game.
And great play by Stuckey. Just absolutely knocked him out of the end of the end zone.
And knocked Baldwin to the sidelines. He's replaced by Ricardo Lockett. It'll be 2nd and goal now from the 13. There's Michael right side. Big gain again as he crosses the 10 down to the 5-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup. And Ty Teo with the stop, but not before. A real positive gain for Tristan Michael.
Interior defensive lineman just getting pushed around a little bit. Just enough room for that running back to get through there. Got to hold their ground a little better.
Wilson 11 of 13 for 121. Nearing 4 minutes to go here in the first half. Wilson in trouble. He escapes again, and Wilson scores! Second rushing touchdown of the evening for Russell Wilson, that time from 5 yards out, and nobody laid a glove on him.
And it's really one of those things that are really wrong, because Chaz Alexi, he's right there. Russell Wilson just has those instincts. We've seen him do it hundreds of times, it seems. Pulls the ball down, takes off, and you're still in midair, feeling used, feeling a little bit stupid.
Russell Wilson, the 75th overall pick back in 2012 out of Wisconsin, also played at North Carolina State, where another quarterback by the name of Rivers played. Here's Hauschka trying the extra point from the other hash mark. 10 plays this time for the Seahawks, 67 yards, and the elusive Russell Wilson in the end zone twice. Back at CenturyLink Field in Seattle, it's been all Seahawks here in the first half. 24-0 over the Chargers. You can see that drive. Russell Wilson capping it off and perhaps telling his head coach, how's that? Is that enough, coach?
If you're a Charger defender, you've got to be feeling, what are we doing wrong against this Russell Wilson? And to me, they're being too cautious. They're waiting for him to do something instead of just catching on fire and getting up the field and trying to make a play in the backfield.
Brandon Oliver with the reception in the end zone will bring the ball out to the 20-yard line after the touchback. The Chargers have run only 15 plays here in the first half. The Seahawks have run 20 plays in Charger territory. Clemens 2 of 4 for 13 yards. Woodhead 4 carries for 5 yards. Brown 2 carries for 9 yards. This is Woodhead in the backfield with Kellen Clemens. And it'll be Woodhead on the draw. Dancing to the outside. He'll get 5-6 yards. Wow. Nice move there by Danny Woodhead.
It's the advantage of being Danny Woodhead. I mean, you can basically get behind those offensive linemen. Defensive linemen just start sorting through those big guys in the white jerseys going, where did Woodhead go? Because he is basically invisible.
You held on to the football.
As soon as they get locked up with that offensive lineman, those defensive linemen are out of play.
Woodhead picks up 6 yards. Clemens over the middle. He's got John Phillips, and John Phillips makes the catch and makes the first down for San Diego. Good timing on that play. Brock Coyle made the stop along with Deshaun Sheed.
Yeah, Phillips just hooks it up, middle of the field. Kellen Clemens, right there, bang.
Clemens brings a lot of experience to the backup position. 5 years with the Rams, 5 years with the Jets rather, and the last 3 with the St. Louis Rams. Ball on the 32. Fake to Woodhead over the middle. He's got Floyd, and Floyd's got it at midfield, and he's not done yet. Floyd gets out to the 47-yard line. Malcolm Floyd with 15 yards.
Pretty slick. Malcolm Floyd catches the ball, quick slant inside, and still has those moves. Malcolm Floyd can still move, avoid tacklers, extend the play. Very nice.
His career average per catch, 17.3 yards. And that is huge.
Yep.
1st and 10 for Clemens and the Chargers as they go with 3 tight ends. Woodhead, weak side. Big hole for Woodhead. Woodhead's got a first down to the Seahawk 40-yard line. Again, they loaded up the strong side with 3 tight ends and run weak side.
Right.
And that will bring us to the 2-minute warning. Chargers looking to get on the board, trailing by 24. Two minutes to go in the first half. Seattle 24, San Diego nothing. But the Chargers have finally reached Seahawk territory. You can see this will be the 3rd play of the first half.
Oh, wow.
On the Seattle side of the ball. There's Clemens. Donald Brown. Brown hit the backfield and stopped there. Cassius Marsh, the 4th-round pick, along with Brock Croyle, a free agent middle linebacker. Seattle has 15 players that have not suited up tonight due to injury or coach's decision.
Oh, that's amazing.
A lot of opportunity for some youngsters for the defending Super Bowl champs. 2nd down. Clemens in trouble. Now throw it away smartly. Donald Brown covered on the sidelines. Brian Schofield right there with Donald Brown, and Clemens with the pressure. Actually, Schofield is a guy that hit Clemens right in the back.
Oh,
that's an old double hit there.
well, they also have. I mean, the guy that was low was kind of holding him up. I didn't think you could hit the quarterback in that position.
Yeah, you can hit backup quarterbacks all you want. You just can't hit the Rivers and the Wilsons.
Gotcha.
3rd down. There's a strike over the middle to Ladarius Green, and Green's got a 1st down. That's one thing about Kellen Clemens. He can bring the heat, as he did that time.
Boy, that was a laser. Kellen Clemens just shakes it off, man. Just shakes it right off. Gets back in the huddle, calls the play, and delivers the football. That's what you love from quarterbacks like that.
And really a nice job of chipping on Cassius Marsh by Donald Brown. That sent Marsh to the sidelines. 14-yard gain that time for Clemens and Ladarius Green. Offensive coordinator Frank Reich, knowing that Green is very valuable.
You know, Ladarius is he's a big-time playmaker. The guy, he's very versatile, has just deceiving speed, and a playmaker so long, you know, just long. And he gets up there in a DB, and you think, and then boom, he's away from you. And just showed that knack last year.
Good speed shown that time by Donald Brown on the draw play. Picks up 6. Chargers with all 3 timeouts.
Offensive line doing a great job opening up that hole on the draw. Perfect play call.
Brown will get credit for a 4-yard gain. Moves the ball inside the red zone. Clemens, he's got his tight end again, and Green breaks a tackle, and he'll fall forward and pick up another Charger 1st down. Phillip Adams stops him there, but the 6'6", 240-pound Ladarius Green giving the Chargers a very important 1st down.
Great job, too. Chris Watt, the kid from Notre Dame. I mean, he gets pushed a little bit, but he stuck in there and protected that quarterback. Kellen wouldn't have gotten the ball off.
See Keenan Allen trying to help out his tight end, blocking down the field.
Yeah.
He did a smart thing, did not hit Earl Thomas in the back. 50 seconds to go here at CenturyLink, or as they affectionately call this place, the Clink. We've got the Q, they got the Clink. Ball is on the 13-yard line. Malcolm Floyd comes to the near side. Donald Brown is split out wide to the left. In the slot is Keenan Allen. Clemens looking over the middle, now to the end zone to Allen. Wow. Touchdown, San Diego.
Absolutely spectacular. Keenan Allen had 3 guys around him. I mean, he was taken out of the play.
Pass protection, excellent. Good slide to the outside.
Look at this.
There's the 3 amigos there.
Oh, my goodness. That was a fantastic job by the Charger offense and a terrible job by that Seattle defense.
First catch of the night for Keenan Allen, first catch of the preseason. Results in a 13-yard touchdown. And that'll bring out Nick Novak. Cyphers puts it down, and Novak puts it through. Pass protection,
Yeah.
mobility, an awareness, and a strike from Kellen Clemens to Keenan Allen.
Don't let the slot receiver run up the seam either. If you're a Seattle safety. Wow.
Nice job. Watch the footwork here. Left foot, right foot, down. Ball secured. Touchdown, San Diego. And really, BR, an important touchdown as they have been outplayed by the Seahawks, both offensively and defensively until that drive.
And now you have the 44 seconds left on the clock. These guys get in there, get into the halftime locker room,
You know,
and start talking about this.
let's talk about practicing an onside kick. You ever see them practice an onside kick other than practice? I mean, you never see it in a game.
Right.
You never see it in pregame warm-ups. And this is an artificial field that's really conducive to a good high bounce.
That's a good point.
I would love to see Nick Novak try an onside kick here. What the heck you got to lose? Well, the Chargers brought their 12th man. That's Stan Humphrey's old number.
Welcome back, Stan.
Brian Walters deep for the Seahawks. There's Novak's kickoff. And it's a good one. Walters touches it inside the 5, and he's in all kinds of trouble. And down he goes.
Oh, man.
So the Chargers with a real opportunity here to hold the Seahawks, and they have 2 timeouts to work with. They could get the ball back in really good field position.
Now, Walters, he's an Ivy League kid. I think he went to Cornell.
And Terrell Pryor, we do have a penalty, and it's going to be offsides against the Chargers. A critical mistake here.
Wow. Oh, man.
Penalties really hurt the Chargers defensively, and now special teams get into the act.
And just when you think that things start going your way, you get the flag.
You can see the frustration.
No doubt.
You have to be told who the guilty party is. But it was thrown on the far side of the field. 4 penalties against San Diego for 36 yards, and that one really a big one because they had the Seahawks pinned back in their own end of the field about the 5-yard line. Now you try the onside kick. Seahawks have a pair of timeouts to work with. Here's Walters. And Walters runs into a wall at the 28-yard line. Terrell Pryor, the former #1 supplemental draft pick of the Oakland Raiders, will come on to work the hurry-up offense. And he's going to have to hurry up a lot because they only have 31 seconds to go and 2 timeouts. Al Davis's final draft pick.
Wow.
Is Terrell Pryor in the supplemental draft. And we'll see how Pete Carroll wants to play it. And it's conservative. Michael with the ball carrier over the right side. And Ty Teo. And Alden Darby with the stop. And the clock is going to run.
Decent job by Teo on that. Caught the running back. Actually turned his momentum the other way and got him out of bounds.
Well, Eric Weddle and Phillip Rivers, they know that the Seahawks are going to let this clock run. They're going to get a head start to the locker room. Russell Wilson with an outstanding first half, 11 out of 13 for 121, 4 rushes, 31 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a dominant performance by the Seahawks, 24-7 at halftime. Chargers taking the field for the start of the third quarter, trailing by 17. Take a look at the Charger home schedule, and these Seahawks will open it September 14th. That's the game where we want the fans to wear white because the Charger players will be in all white as well.
Absolutely, and that's the game on September 14th that counts. Let's do that and go on in, and 2 weeks later, Jacksonville
You know, and after watching Jacksonville the other night against the Bears, they look pretty good with
Yeah, they're playing tougher, no doubt
Blake
about
Bortles, and the Jets are going to be improved this year. We know about Kansas City and Oakland. And the St. Louis Rams, sleepers last year in the NFC West, although they finished last. But how about ending the season back-to-back weeks with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning? Wow.
it. Yeah, I don't know that it really puts you in the holiday frame of mind. You know what I'm saying?
Some Charger fans made the trip here to take on the 68,000. You know, they have 63,000 season ticket holders. They hold back 5,000 tickets. Well, of course. That's a phenomenal number. 95 consecutive sellouts, and that's not including the preseason.
That is amazing.
Brandon Oliver will be deep for the San Diego Chargers, as they hope to build on the little bit of momentum they built up at that first half as Clemens took him down and hit Keenan Allen in the back of the end zone for 13 yards. Here's Hauschka's kickoff. And Oliver will bring it out of the end zone from 2 yards deep. He fumbles it, picks it up at the 5. And now he's in big trouble as he gets out across the 10. Critical mistake, dropping that kickoff. Heads up, though, to recover. Kellen Clemens in that first half, 7 of 10 for 67 yards. Was sacked one time. And he hit Allen with that 13-yard touchdown pass. Receiving for San Diego in the first half, Malcolm Floyd, 2 catches for 30 yards. Darius Green, 2 for 20. And Donald Brown, 2 for 13. And Brandon Oliver will remain the tailback for Kellen Clemens. Fake to Oliver. Clemens with a lot of room on the outside. Wow. He delivers a strike and the ball's dropped. Just a flat drop by Dontrell Inman, as that ball was right on target.
No question about it. Kellen Clemens just came out and let it go. It sounded like Inman might have a good chance to catch that football. Bounces off his forearms and hits the ground. It's over.
He did a nice job of pushing the defender deep and coming out of his break. Just couldn't make the catch. Brings up a second down and 10 from the 12. Clemens bobbles the snap. He gives it to Oliver. And Oliver with a good gain for his first carry of 6 yards. Oliver last week was the offensive star for the Chargers. 64 yards, averaging 9.1 yards per carry. And that one 16-yard touchdown run.
Touchdown, that's right.
3rd and 4 for San Diego. First half, the Chargers were 3 of 6 converting on third downs. Clemens, he's got his receiver, and that's a completed pass to Javonte Herndon. Seahawks saying he dropped the ball, but the officials say no, he didn't. Therald Simon on the tackle, but that is a first down for San Diego.
Let's take a look at the old Razorback, actually the young Razorback. Does a nice job, makes the catch, and then gets tackled. That was a catch.
And that's Oliver, and Oliver going low that time, getting underneath the attempted tackle by Stephen Terrell. He'll gain just a couple. Second down and 8 from the 27 for Clemens in the shotgun. He's looking for Oliver out of the backfield. Now Clemens will run. He'll pick up the first down. We'll get real close to it. I'm going to say he's just short as he picks up 7. Good mobility from the Oregon Duck.
And was chased down at the end of that run by Pierre Louis. Just a step away.
Let's not leave out Pierre Louis' first name. It's Kevin Pierre Louis. Or actually, pronounced Lewis. Well, my French isn't that good. 3rd down and 1. Oliver in the backfield behind Zach Boren. And Oliver finds his way to the 1st down, or close to it. Sharon Johnson, the line judge, comes in and says, oh yes, he did get to the 35, and that will be a Charger 1st down.
It's a great run, and just check it out. Putting the head down, Brandon Oliver, bam, and rocks the linebacker back over the yard line that he needs to get to for the 1st down. Great job.
Low man wins, and he's got a real advantage there. 1st and 10 from the 35. Fake to Oliver. Clemens steps up, throws on the run, and that ball incomplete. Trying to get the ball to Ajira Tutu. And I'm not the first guy that thinks that Brandon Oliver resembles Darren Sproles. If he has 1/10 of the career that Sproles has had, it'll be a big bonus for San Diego.
On the right, you see him in the uniform he wore, the University of Buffalo. And I'm sure Sproles is saying, okay, enough already, guys.
Phillip Adams with the stop, and he will hold Oliver to no gain. And you wonder who in the Charger organization decided to give Oliver Sproles' old number, too.
I know.
3rd and 10 now for Clemens. A lot of time on the play clock. Looking left, throwing left. And he's got his man.
Wow.
And a flag is thrown. Now this may be pushing off against San Diego. Jeremy Lane. And it looked like Javonte Herndon pushed off on Lane.
By both teams on the play. Illegal contact, number 20 of the defense. Holding, number 74 of the offense. Penalties will offset.
All right.
Repeat, 3rd down.
Yeah, my apologies to Herndon. As Adams is going to illegally contact him down the field. Ornberger called for holding.
Right.
So here's the first part of the penalty called by Pete Morelli. Nice job of hanging on by Herndon, and another fine throw by Kellen Clemens. But the penalties nullify that play. Brings up again the 3rd and 10. Ball on the Charger 35. Clemens in trouble, and down he goes. Beat around the corner was Mike Harris. And Clemens takes another big hit. Benson Mayowa and Michael Morgan combined to make that stop.
Boy, you just see just the speed, the pure speed, and gets by Willie Smith. And boy, Willie, I don't know. He couldn't get a glove on him. Because you don't let those guys get past you and get to your quarterback. You don't do that.
Here's Tenpenny's punt. Caught by Walters. He's got a good game. And he's tackled by Tenpenny. Chase Tenpenny saves a touchdown. But the Seahawks will have excellent field position to start their initial drive here in the 2nd half, leading by 17. A 39-yard punt by Chase Tenpenny returned 28 yards all the way to the Charger 38-yard line for Terrell Pryor. In a battle with Tavares Jackson for the backup spot behind Russell Wilson. Kristen Michael comes up and gets a play from Pryor. And a movement on the right side of the Seahawk offense. That'll be a false start.
First down.
Cooper Helfet, 3rd-year player out of Duke.
What did you just say?
Helfet.
Gotcha.
Cooper Helfet.
Gotcha.
Helfet.
Okay.
From Duke. You think he'd know better being a Dookie. But you know, they didn't move the ball back. Now they move it back. So it'll be 1st and 15 from the 43 of San Diego. See Pryor's numbers last week against the Broncos. Michael running left, and another missed tackle by San Diego. He gets the corner, but gets out of bounds.
Well, he uses a heck of a lot of speed to get to that corner, by the way, just running past Chargers all along the way. This Michael can absolutely burn it up.
We've seen a lot of that tonight. Poor angles on the tackling, perhaps. Preston Butler that time couldn't get Michael. Picks up 5, give him 6 yards on the gain. 2nd down and 9. Pryor attempt his first pass, looking left and throwing poorly, underthrown. Indecisive on that delivery by Terrell Pryor. Pryor, 56% completion rate in his short career, and is now in his 4th year. He's thrown 9 touchdown passes, but 12 interceptions. But it's his mobility that excites Pete Carroll.
No doubt, he can buy himself enough time and run around in the backfield until somebody can pop open, get the ball to him, and makes him a hero again.
3rd and 9. Play clock down to 5. Here's a blitz by San Diego. Pryor hangs in there, looking down the field. He throws, and he's got his man, and it's incomplete. Again, it's Darryl Stuckey with the big hit on Helfand. That knocked that ball out of his hands. Stuckey continues to make big plays, not only on special teams, but 2 big ones this evening as a safety.
And Adrian Phillips also did a great job putting the heat on the quarterback. And we see the receiver going down without the ball in his hands.
So Hauschka will come on to try a 55-yard field goal. His career long is 54 yards. And he's got a shot at it, and he's got it. Wow. The former North Carolina State standout hits from 55 to increase the Seahawk lead to 20. 3rd quarter action. Seattle 27, San Diego 7, and it takes teamwork to kick a long field goal, BR.
Teamwork. Take a look. John Ryan, it was a bad snap. John Ryan got it back up and did a great job doing the job that the holder has to do. That happens sometimes.
Now, John Ryan really hasn't had to do much work tonight except for hold for extra points in that field goal. Seahawks have had 6 possessions. They've scored 5 times. The only time they didn't score was at the end of the first half. And here's Brandon Oliver. And Oliver's going to come out from 5 yards deep. And he'll make his way across the 10. Perhaps a mistake by the rookie out of Buffalo. Bringing that one out of the end zone from 5 yards.
The rookies making mistakes. Normally they hear about it, right? I think he's going to hear about it.
Well, the goal is to get it to the 20-yard line, and if you leave it in the end zone, you automatically get it to the 20.
That's right.
I can do the math there.
Absolutely.
This costs the Chargers 7 yards that they can ill afford to lose, trailing by 20. Oliver will remain the tailback for San Diego as they start this drive, backed up at their own 13. David Johnson joins Oliver in the backfield. Oliver right up the middle, and he's hit almost as soon as he got the ball. Donnie Troutman appeared to miss a man, and that man, Horace Miller, the rookie out of Texas El Paso.
Yeah, it just so happened that man that he missed just came right down and blew up the Charger running back.
Give Oliver 2 yards, out to the 15. Cummins will settle into the shotgun. 3 wide receivers. Looking to the right side, he's got a fine pass over the middle, and that ball caught by Dontrell Inman. Thurl Simon with the stop, 15 yards on the gain, and catching that ball with his hands. Nice job.
Yeah, fantastic job. Really tight, comes inside, and the ball is delivered right on the money. And even though there are defenders around him, he's going to catch that football.
Now, wide receiver is one spot where there's tremendous amount of competition for San Diego. Which with Vincent Brown out with an injury, Inman making the most of his opportunities. Here's Oliver on first down. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and not much more. Stephen Terrell with the stop. 7.5 to go here in the third quarter. Herndon to the top of the screen in the slot. This is Shira Tutu. Looking for his tight end ball up in the air. It might be caught by Herndon.
I think so.
Off the deflection by David Johnson, and the ball is caught by Herndon.
Kellen Clemens fires the ball, just bounces off the tight end's chest, and they're going to call it. They're going to bring this one.
Yeah, they stopped the play, and
no doubt.
65,000 Seahawks fans know that this one was incomplete.
Wow.
Seattle is challenging early on the field with the pass. Hit the ground.
You know, they could speed things up here by just showing the replay to Pete Morelli, our referee, on the big board instead of having him go to the hood and check it out.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll check it out too, Pete. Seahawks in control. Pete Morelli has told this crowd what they wanted to hear. Incomplete pass.
No, of course. The ball basically goes right through the arms of the receiver and touches the ground, so it can't be a catch.
Really good effort there by Javonte Herndon.
No doubt.
David Johnson only has 22 catches in his NFL career, which spans 6 years. And maybe now you can see why. Primarily a blocking tight end and a fullback. And that one bounced off his hands. Here's Clemens on third down. We got a flag down, and he's got Herndon. Wow. And Herndon with a spectacular diving catch at the 45-yard line.
Going horizontal, reaching out and snagging that football. That was fantastic.
We'll see what the flag's all about.
There's no foul for illegal contact as the quarterback was out of the pocket. Result of the play is a catch. First down.
Really good job of telling us exactly what the rule is. Once the quarterback gets out of the pocket, there can be no illegal contact down the field.
Fair game. Really nice throw across his body, too.
Well, that's the type of play that opens up a coach's eyes. After the disappointment of having a reversal, come back, make that catch. High snap. Clemens has got it. Now he's going to run and he's going to slide.
Well, that's a smart thing to do. Wow.
Rich Orenberger, the snapper. Clemens will lose 1 yard on the play. And that officially goes down as a sack. That's 3 sacks against the Charger quarterbacks, all against Kellen Clemens this evening. 3 wide receivers again on second down. Now 11 yards to go. Firing the ball down the field, another perfect strike. Shira Tutu with the catch. Kellen Clemens with the ball right on the money.
He is absolutely nailing it. That was perfect.
Now Clemens showing exactly what he has as a backup quarterback. Remember last year he led the Rams to 4 wins to end the season after Sam Bradford was injured. First and 10 now. Now to the end zone. And the ball's incomplete. Intended for Dontrell Inman, and Inman did a good job of keeping Thorold Simon from making that interception.
Did a absolute great job. And Clemens will be thanking him, I'm sure, in the film room. That's what receivers have to do.
You know what that looked like, BR? That looked like Richard Sherman against Michael Crabtree in the playoff game last year. The play that beat the 49ers and sent the Seahawks all the way to that Lombardi Trophy. 2nd and 10 now from the 29-yard line. Oliver in the backfield with Clemens. And it's a delay of game.
Timeout, San Diego.
They
First
got
team timeout.
Heads up call by Mike McCoy on the sidelines as Clemens trying to get the ball snapped from Orenberger, but the crowd too loud. But McCoy bails out his offense with a timely timeout. 8 to go in the third quarter. Seattle 27, San Diego 7, which happens to be the exact same score that the Chargers defeated the Dallas Cowboys by not too long ago. Second down from the 29. Inman wide to the right. In the slot is Ajir Tutu. Clemens over the middle, and David Johnson makes that catch and turns up the field for a positive gain.
Great job by, sorry, Dan.
No, that's okay. Heath
Yeah.
Farwell, the former Aztec, with the stop.
Right, and Clemens, nice job just getting rid of the ball as quickly as possible, because you can tell Seahawks bringing the pressure, and Clemens did a nice job getting rid of that football.
Clemens threw for 134 yards last week. Has topped that already tonight. 3rd and 3. And he's got Sweet Feet over the middle, and it's a first down. Tevin Reese with the catch there.
Sweet Feet, man. That is a nickname that I think enjoy.
I think he might have gotten that nickname from RG3. They played together at Baylor. He is a deep threat. His career at Baylor caught 9 touchdown passes that were all over 60 yards a catch.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Chargers into the red zone for the second time tonight. 11th play of the drive coming up. And it's Oliver, right side. He's hitting the backfield again. Oliver just cannot get past that first tackler, O'Brien Schofield.
Schofield was able to just come down the line of scrimmage, get in the backfield, and before Oliver could get past him, wow. Yeah. Zach Bourne also rolled up on that play. That was tough.
Oliver will lose 2 on the play. And draw play. And again, Oliver just not getting any daylight at all from that offensive line. Greg Scruggs, 6'3", 310-pound third-year player out of Louisville. With that stop, gain of 1 for Brandon Oliver. Third and 11. Clemens throws to his tight end, ball incomplete, but you can see the flag down on the field. And we'll see how this one goes.
Illegal contact, number 28 defense, 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Well, Phillip Adams overpowering, or rather with the penalty as David Johnson overpowers him. We're going to call this a penalty on the outside, not against David Johnson.
Right.
So Herndon going to the end zone is interfered with illegal contact by Phillip Adams. Brandon Oliver, 8 carries, just 11 yards this evening. First and 10 for San Diego as they have now reached the Seahawk 9-yard line. Here's Oliver, right side, and he'll pick up 3 or 4. Down to the 6, maybe the 5-yard line. They'll mark it at the 6. Good push that time by the right side of that offensive line.
Very nice. And Brandon Oliver saying, "Okay, guys, I'm rested up. I got my wind back. Give me the ball. Let's go."
Right tackle Mike Harris and right guard Chris Watt doing a good job there. Johnny Troutman now has moved to center. No, check that. He's at left guard. Clemens to the end zone. That ball is intercepted, but a flag is down. Picked off by Farrell Simon. He's down the sidelines. One man to beat. That's the quarterback, Clemens. And Clemens can't get him. Touchdown, Seattle, maybe. And then again, maybe not.
Yeah, Dan, I think it's coming back.
Boy, we have seen so many
Illegal contact
of those.
27. Defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, that's past the 5 yards. You can't put your hands on the receivers past 5 yards. And Simon, the second-year player out of LSU. Pete Carroll can't believe it. But that's that old point of emphasis we've seen a lot in the preseason. And you almost think it was designed against the Seattle Seahawks and guys like Richard Sherman and Byron Maxwell.
The aggressive defenses that cover like that, man coverage like that, I think you're right.
This was an exercise in futility for a lot of guys, including Kellen Clemens, who did his best to try to keep Simon out of the end zone. Now 68,000 voicing their displeasure. Somebody's got to tell them, hey guys, it's only preseason.
That's right. No, wait till we get to preseason.
Wait till the Packers come to town to open the NFL season. That's who the Seahawks will open with on a Thursday night, September 4th, here at the Clink. And it was a clink of a play, the Hail Mary. Golden Tate with a controversial touchdown in the end zone on the Hail Mary, if you will.
Yes.
That positively got rid of the scab officials. So something good came out of that.
Absolutely.
For Packer fans. Timeout on the field, 1:54 to go, third quarter. Chargers threatening. Fake to Oliver, throw to the end zone, touchdown San Diego. Jake Byrne rather, from Wisconsin with his first NFL touchdown.
How do you like that? Little play action into the line. Get that tight end to come off clean. The safety doesn't even take the edge off of him. And there's your touchdown.
There's your silencer. Good fake to Oliver too, and Byrne does a nice job of getting in behind the linebacker.
Right.
Marquez Doughton. Another impressive drive led by Kellen Clemens. 14 plays on the drive, 2 of them on the Seattle defense. This drive started way back on the Charger 13-yard line. It took over 7 minutes off the clock as Nick Novak converts.
Well, that's some fantastic blocking by the fullback as well, allowing Byrne to get out there, make that catch.
Clemens on the drive, 6 of 8 for 75 yards and his second touchdown pass of the evening. Jake Byrne, in his second year, he's played with New Orleans and Houston. He's battling for a kind of an uphill fight to get that 4th tight end position. Of course, Antonio Gates, John Phillips, and Darius Green, and we've seen the versatility of David Johnson, who lines up as a tight end or as a blocking back in the I formation.
It was Byrne and Boren combining that made that touchdown happen.
Kellen Clemens was after the interception that went for 104 yards. He chased Simon down the field for about 70 of those 104. Walters deep for Seattle, and he's coming out. Good job there that time. covering the kickoff for the Chargers, Kerwin Williams.
And I'll give you another one. Brandon Oliver actually finished him off after Kerwin started it. A couple of running backs got together, got that returner down. Look at that.
So for Seattle, who have not been on the field in a long time because of that 7+ minute drive by San Diego, Terrell Pryor will remain the quarterback with Kristen Michael, his tailback. And he gives it to Michael. And Michael will get 2. Minute and a half to go here in the third quarter. Chargers fighting back. Trailing now by 13.
See Jerry Atauchu out there. Good time. Take a look at him, see what kind of progress he's making in the world of the outside linebacker.
Here's Michael, and he can't get to the 25-yard line. Andrew Gatchkar with the stop. Gatchkar, the 4-year player out of Missouri, drafted in the 7th round back in 2011.
Gatchkar and Atauchu. I mean, we're getting some great names back. That's fantastic.
Wow. How about Ricky Chongachu?
Chongachu's good.
73. Is he in there yet? Yes, he is. Pryor in the shotgun on 3rd down and 6. And he'll run, and he'll pick up the first down, and then he'll slide. Terrell Pryor, 6'4", 233 pounds. And nobody will ever forget, if they saw it, his 93-yard touchdown run last season against the Pittsburgh Steelers. That'll bring us to the end of the third quarter. Seahawks 27, Chargers 14. Fourth quarter action coming up after this break. The fourth quarter, Seattle 27, San Diego 14. Take a look at the first 8 games of the Chargers' regular season schedule. What jumps out at you, BR?
Well, the fact that they have to wrap up the exhibition season and start the regular season with the same team. That's a little weird.
That is a little weird. We will have that Arizona game in San Diego in 2 weeks. Next week, the Chargers travel to San Francisco for a Fox National game against the 49ers in their new Levi Stadium. Here's Pryor looking over the middle. And he's got his tight end, Helfet. And Helfet will pick up a first down. Miguel Connor with the stop after a 10-yard gain. The thing I saw in that schedule, BR, the last 3 games of the first half of the season are all on the road. They play Kansas City, Oakland, and Denver on a Thursday night. Wow. The schedule makers did not do the Chargers any favors this season. First and 10 for Pryor and the Seahawks. It's Kristen Michael with a short gain, if any. Kristen Michael, his name is spelled Christine, sometimes pronounced Christine. I don't think his parents did him any favors.
No, he has to spend most of his time correcting people.
Kristen. Michael.
Atauchu.
Gesundheit. Second down and 7 for the Seahawks. And here's Michael, and he gets hit in the backfield. Falls forward out to the 49-yard line. Seahawks will be working on the clock. Demetrius Bronson is the new running back for the Seahawks. There's Butler with the stop. Brunson, a rookie out of Eastern Washington, where they've had all types of success over there in Cheney, Washington. Third down and 3 for Pryor, and now we've got a false start.
False start, number 13 offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Chris Matthews And that is not hardball.
Chris Matthews. No kidding.
That's a false start for Chris Matthews, the first-year player out of Kentucky. Played last year for up in Canada, where he was Rookie of the Year in the Canadian Football League. In Canada, you can do that as a wide receiver.
Right.
Pick up 3rd and 8. 4-man rush for San Diego and a big gap for Pryor. And he takes it and he'll slide. Interesting to see where they mark him down. They're going to give him a lot of that slide right at the down marker. He may have enough of that for the first down.
The outside pressure came toward the quarterback. He takes off, and Pryor, does what fast quarterback's going to be doing. He runs it out, and then I don't understand why he slid. Looks like to me like a half a yard, maybe a yard before the marker.
I think he's more concerned with his health than making a first down.
You know what? That's fair. That's right.
So the chains will come out. And he is just inches shy of the first down. I bring up 4th down in inches, and you know Pete Carroll's going to go for it, don't you? Brings in.
Compete. That's all I know. That's what Pete says.
Well, you wonder in the regular season with the style of defense that the Seahawks have, if he would punt this one away. Remember, Pete, former defensive coordinator.
No doubt.
Defensive-minded head coach. I played Pop Warner football against Pete Carroll back in the day.
Come on.
Yep, we made an all-star game together. He was a defensive back, and he was a real pain in the you-know-what.
Oh, my gosh. That is amazing.
He played for the Redwood Junior Giants. I played for the Drake Junior Pirates, and we were junior.
He was finishing up, I think, his gig at the University of Arkansas when I visited the Razorbacks. First time I met Pete Carroll, and then the very next year he was gone off to bigger and better things, and we missed having him at Arkansas after that.
Well, you know, he's one of 2 guys in the history of football that have won the national title in college, which he did at USC, and a Super Bowl. Of course, Jimmy Johnson and Barry Switzer. Johnson with Miami and the Cowboys, and Switzer at Oklahoma and the Cowboys. 4th and inches now for Pete Carroll. Watch Pryor on the quarterback sneak. Now he thinks better of it. He gives it to his fullback, Spencer Ware. And Spencer Ware, the 230-pound second-year player out of LSU, picks up the first down. Check that. That's Kiero Small. Nothing small about Kiero. 5'8", 247. And he's one of your suey pigs.
That's exactly right. He is an Arkansas Razorback and an absolute stump. I'm telling you, man, that has got to be a scary proposition.
He picked up the first down with ease. Pryor with the play action. And he's looking deep down the left sideline. That ball overthrown and incomplete. Preston Butler with good coverage that time on Paul Richardson.
And it looked like Richardson had a real chance to catch that football, and it just sailed over his fingertips.
Like Butler may have injured his back on this play as he hit the ground.
Take another look.
Paul Richardson from Los Angeles played his senior year at Sarah High School, where they went 15-0 and won the state title. Good effort by both players. Right. Here's Pryor on the bootleg, and he's got a lot of room to run. 30. Pryor's going to score. 10-5, touchdown Seattle. No flags. Put it on the board.
There was that speed that you were talking about. Pryor is still just a flash.
And it's this type of play that excites Pete Carroll, because this is a long run for a quarterback, and no Charger ever touched number 2.
Wow, and it just sailing.
3 rushing touchdowns tonight for quarterbacks. in the Seahawk uniform. Wilson from 1 and 5 yards out, and this time Terrell Pryor from 44 yards away. $11:20 to go in the ball game. Seahawks up by 20 again. 34-14 thanks to Terrell Pryor. 3 rushes on that drive for 58 yards. Seahawks, John Ryan, their fine punter, having a very easy night, just holding for extra points and field goal tries. Pryor's had 2 rushes there, one for a first down and one for a touchdown. 4-year player out of Ohio State, being challenged by Tavares Jackson for the backup job to Russell Wilson. And Brandon Oliver will keep the ball in the end zone. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. 11:20 to go in the ball game. Chargers down by 20. New quarterback for the San Diego Chargers. It'll be Brad Sorensen. Last week against the Dallas Cowboys, completed 5 of 7 for 48 yards.
I think the idea is just to kind of let all these quarterbacks experience a little bit of facing this Seattle team. I think it's valuable experience for these guys.
Kellen Clemens had an outstanding performance tonight. There's a handoff to Marion Grice. Grice in fierce competition with Brandon Oliver for a potential 4th spot in the backfield behind Ryan Matthews, Donald Brown, and Danny Woodhead. Kellen Clemens, 14 of 21 for 149 and a pair of touchdown passes. And a lot of duress as he was sacked 3 times. Over the middle, that's Jake Byrne with his 2nd catch. Byrne is a nice big target too, 6'4", 258 pounds.
And then if you can't see his number, you just look for the long blonde hair, right? Just throw it at the hair.
9 yards for the hair that time.
Right.
10.5 to go now. Inman, the top of the screen. The wing position. 2 tight ends for San Diego on 3rd and 1 yard to go. Here's Grice, and he's got the first down. Good vision, cutting it back over right guard and picking up the first down after a 6-yard gain.
Yeah, actually took that altered course deep in the backfield. Take a look at Marion Grice as he chalks up another big-time carry. Boy, splits 2-3 guys. Very nice. Marion Grice.
Ball on the 35, 1st and 10 for Sorensen. High snap, he gives it to Grice. And Grice with another job of cutting back. Good vision as he finds that hole over the right side. Terrence Parks with the stop. 7-yard gain that time for Grice. Grice gained 35 yards last week against the Cowboys on 14 carries. Did have an 18-yard gain at one point. Second and 3. Grice the tailback. Fake to Grice. Sorensen in big trouble. Down he goes. Nobody picked up Thomas. Wow. Terrell Thomas, the 6-year player out of USC, played for Pete Carroll at USC, and he comes on the safety blitz from the left side.
Yeah, and nobody even is considering that he might make that move and jump all over the Charger quarterback.
Well, you know, that's the quarterback's read, though. He's got to see that blitz on play action and throw hot to that side. So Sorensen turning his back, did not see Thomas, and it cost him. Cost him big time. 3rd and 12. Good protection this time. And there's a fine throw by Sorensen that is absolutely dropped.
Clank.
Javonte Herndon has had a mixed bag tonight. That was a fine throw, back shoulder fade.
Perfect placement for the pass. You can't throw any better than that.
That shows me a lot, though. Quarterback gets sacked on one play and then comes back and throws a beautiful pass like that. Good job by Sorensen. Here's Chase Tenpenny's left-footed punt. Brian Walters makes the catch down the sidelines and out of bounds he goes. 8:06 to go in the ball game. Seahawks a big lead by 20. 8:06 to go, fourth quarter, and it's been all Seahawks tonight against Mike McCoy's Chargers. For those of you watching tonight's game in San Diego, a special post-game edition of CBS News 8 will air immediately following tonight's ball game. New quarterback for the Seahawks is B.J. Daniels, and he's in the shotgun. And now he's going to run just like Pryor and Russell Wilson. Now he throws. A wide open receiver down the field. Ball caught there by Rashawn Allen, a tight end.
And like you said, Dan, B.J. got out on the edge and looking down the field, just decided to do what had made the previous quarterbacks successful.
24 yards on that play, BR.
Yeah, on a rope.
B.J. Daniels, 5'11", 217 in his second year out of South Florida. Spencer Ware is his tailback. And Ware gets the handoff, or he missed the handoff.
It did.
A little mix-up in the backfield. And B.J. Daniels, lucky he didn't fumble that exchange. You know, B.J. was with the 49ers last year, and it just makes you wonder about the competition between the Niners and the Seahawks. Pete Carroll and Jim Harbaugh. Maybe they picked him up to pick up some secrets of the 49ers, you think?
They would never do that, Dan. They would never do that.
They're going to lose 1 yard on that mistake in the backfield. And here's B.J. on the read option. And they get down to the 25-yard line. Adrian Phillips, backup safety, rookie out of Texas with the stop. 7 yards for B.J. as the Seattle Seahawks quarterbacks have just dominated tonight on the ground.
Yeah, they have. It's been 94 rush yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, Pryor and Wilson, 7 carries for 89 yards. Robert Turbin is the leading rusher for the Seahawks, 12 carries for 81 this evening. Here's Daniels with a strike over the middle. Pass complete to Chris Matthews. That'll pick up 10 yards inside the red zone now for the Seahawks and a beleaguered defensive coordinator, John Pagano.
Oh, man. Sometimes you just have one of those days.
Well, a lot of good teaching points, huh?
Yes.
The coaches.
A lot of teaching points.
Seattle is yet to punt tonight, and I don't think they're going to punt on this possession as they have reached the 15-yard line. Spencer Ware, a big hole. All the way to Adrian Phillips, another safety for San Diego. Give Ware 7 yards on the play. 5 minutes to go. Ware and Kiero Small in the backfield now. And Daniels gives to Ware left side. He's hit in the backfield and knocked backwards. Good gang tackling that time by the Chargers. Thomas Kaiser in on the play.
Yeah.
Along with Kwame Gethers.
So here's a little example of the Chargers gang tackling. Get the guy stood up. Come on in. Make sure they're down on the ground.
Kaiser, who had that big strip sack last week against the Cowboys. 3rd and 1. And here's B.J. Daniels. He takes it, and he takes it all the way to the end zone. 4 rushing touchdowns for Seahawk quarterbacks tonight.
And Russell Wilson is saying, oh, no, you didn't. You did not just do that.
Well, the read option, and he's not going to give that ball up, is he?
No, sir.
He's going to take it right to the mantle. Read option play, fakes to wear. Stumbles, but low man wins again at 5'11". Takes the low road to the end zone.
A little too fast riding the ball in the running back's gut. A little too fast, but he didn't pay the price for it. He ended up getting in anyway.
Seahawks add to their lead, 41-14. Back in Seattle, where 3 different Seattle Seahawks quarterbacks have scored touchdowns rushing. Russell Wilson from 1 yard out, then a 5-yarder. Terrell Pryor went 44 yards for his touchdown. And B.J. Daniels gets into the act with a 6-yard read option touchdown.
They're going to call Dave Craig out of the stands and see what he wants to do.
Well, you wonder about Tavares Jackson, who's in real heated competition for the backup job with Terrell Pryor. The experience factor is huge for Jackson. Or will it be enough to hold off Terrell Pryor? Here's Hauschka's kickoff. The ball fumbled by Grice. He picks it up at the 5-yard line, and he'll get across the 20.
It's a nice recovery, I'll tell you that. Considering the way it started, bouncing off his hands, he picked it right up and got up the field.
Now Tavares Jackson will get his shot next week as the Seahawks will host the Chicago Bears. So an offside penalty will be added to the end of the run by Grice. Although they're going to bring it back and they're going to kick it over again. Pete Morelli misspeaking there. But in a unusual preseason for both these teams with their schedule. The Chargers play the Seahawks. They play the 49ers. And they play the Cardinals. All in the NFC West. Well, guess what? Seattle's in the NFC West. They play in the preseason Denver, San Diego, and Oakland. All teams that they will face again in the regular season.
Right.
An oddity in the schedule making for both teams.
Suffice it to say that at least on the West Coast, the Seattle Seahawks will be widely enjoyed on video and digital entertainment.
Well, Grice is standing at the 1-yard line, and he'll get another shot to return one. Makes the catch cleanly this time. He's got a good return out across the 20-yard line. Marion Grice, rookie out of Arizona State, with a good return. And we'll see what Brad Sorensen can do with his second opportunity. Chargers with 2 timeouts, 3.5, and clock running. And isn't that good to see, the clock running? This will make 10 out of 11 wins in the preseason for the Seahawks under Pete Carroll. That competition, not only for the players, but in every game the Seahawks play, they obviously play to win. They have reset the clock to 3:52 after the change of possession. The clock does stop, and here's Sorensen looking. Now in trouble, and down he goes. He had about 6-7 seconds, just couldn't find anybody.
Oh, my goodness.
O'Brien Schofield with the sack.
Yep,
5 sacks at BR against Charger quarterbacks tonight.
Yeah, Sorensen just sat in the pocket. Just sat in the pocket. Sat a little longer, and then it was too late. You have got to get the ball out of your hands.
Loss of 4 on the 5th sack of the night. Quickly out of his hand to Grice. Grice has got the catch, and he's rolled out of bounds. Heath Farwell, who played 6 years with the Vikings, real special team star. Former Aztec with the play there.
That's right. We see Sorensen just wait until it comes open, and then Farwell closes it down.
A quick decision that time by Sorensen. Looked downfield, then knew his outlet receiver was Grice on the flat. That'll bring up 3rd and 9. As we come under 2:45, 2:40 now in the ball game. And that looks like a false start.
That was old Jeremiah Searles, rookie out of Nebraska.
Well, that's one way to get your name called. Unfortunately for offensive linemen, it happens way too often.
Yeah. Back in Nebraska, they'd say couldn't hold his water.
So that'll back him up 5 yards. McCoy can barely stand to watch.
I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Sorensen chased out of the pocket, throws across his body, and that ball is complete. Complete to his tight end, Michael Flacco. Caught one pass last week. That one is for 9 yards, but well short of the first down. I want to take this opportunity to thank all the support we got tonight putting this ball game on. Our producer, Jason Bott, director Tom Satursky up in the booth, Justin Anderson and Joe Sullivan handling the stats. Nick Beckman is our stage manager, and Paul Mills our spotter. Good job, folks. So Chase Tenpenny is on to punt the ball back to the Seahawks at the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go in the ball game. Chargers 41-14 trailing the Seahawks. 6th punt of the night coming up. This time and again it'll be Chase Tenpenny. Tenpenny, the 6'3", 252-pound punter out of Nevada, in a real tough spot trying to beat out Mike Cyphers, which is not going to happen, but he is auditioning for other teams around the league. Good opportunity here as he sends a high spiral. Phillip Adams backing up, now coming forward. Reverses his field. Now he's going backwards, bobbles the ball. Trying to outrun the coverage here. He'll get across the 25-yard line. And then down there we have a flag down on the field. Michael Flacco, the backup tight end, with the tackle. Pete Morelli has been a busy man tonight.
Man downfield. Number 51 of the kicking team, 5-yard penalty to be added at the end of the run. First down.
Adrian Hamilton, an outside linebacker. Downfield before Tenpenny got it off. Charger quarterbacks tonight have completed 19 passes out of 29 throws. And the bright spot is that they've hit 14 different receivers.
Yeah, I mean they're not getting hung up on throwing it to the same one, and that can happen. That can happen to a young quarterback, and it's a very dangerous thing to get into.
Speaking of young quarterbacks, this guy has just been outstanding.
Out of his mind.
Has made 2 Pro Bowls and won a Super Bowl. Just now, his 3rd year. Russell Wilson. Pete Carroll decides to give his quarterback, B.J. Daniels, the best formation in football, the victory formation. Just go out there, snap the ball, take a knee, let's get out of here. Seahawks next will play the Chicago Bears on Friday, August 22nd. They'll wrap up their preseason schedule at the Raiders on the 28th. The Chargers next week. On Sunday, they go to San Francisco. Actually, they go to Santa Clara to play the 49ers. August 24th, that game can be seen on Fox. And we'll be back with you August 28th, a Thursday night, from Qualcomm Stadium, as the Chargers will battle the Arizona Cardinals. A lot of questions to be answered. by the Chargers after this shellacking by the Seahawks. They came out absolutely perfect on offense. So good that John Ryan, their punter, never took the field as a punter. And this will be the last snap of the ball game, mercifully. But it's just preseason, BR, right?
That's exactly right, Dan. And you have to sit down. You've got to go through this tape and make sure that everybody knows where the mistakes were made, who made them, and get them all corrected. That's that guy's job right now.
You can see the clock has stopped, but the players are shaking hands, renewing acquaintances,
Just
and
let it
heading
go.
for the showers.
There you go.
For those of you watching on the Chargers Network, you'll be leaving us now to return to your local stations. Those of you on CBS 8 in San Diego, our post-game coverage is just ahead. Once again, our final score from Seattle, the Seahawks 41, the Chargers 14.